Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session on Azure Serverless technology. And our speaker, Rehan, has joined. We will be starting the session in another 5 minutes. Hello, Ryan. Can you hear me? Do you have? Are you ready for the session?
Hello, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
I think we are good to go. We can start the session. Let me just uh, if you can share your screen, let me just introduce you, and then we
hmm
can start the session.
okay, so I will
Okay, so I
share
will.
my screen now.
First, let me just introduce you, then to our audience. Then I think then you can share your screen.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this session on serverless technology. We have with us Rian, who is software developer lead at ISG, or FENIIQS in company, and so he will be guiding us about Azure serverless technology. So, welcome Rian. Welcome to this session.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. I work at ISD Phoenix.
Okay, sorry if I pronounce the name.
It's okay.
Yeah,
So I will share my screen now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so give me a sec. No. Can you guys see my screen now? Am I sharing something?
Yes, Ria, you can see.
Okay, okay, so I think we are ready to start. So, first of all, I would like to say thank you guys for having me here. It's so great. It will be a great experience for me to be here. Yeah. So, yeah, just to introduce myself again, let me just get my. I am Ryan Nino Dizon. I came from the Philippines. I am currently living here in Germany and working as a software development lead slash architect. I have been uh, almost 2 decades in software development fields, and I am also one of the community leader of Angular Philippines. So we also have, hello, is someone speaking?
Yes, yes, Rian, we can hear you.
Okay,
I think
great. Okay, so as what I am saying, I am one of the community leader of Angular Philippines. So we also do monthly meetup like this, and here are the um, my social media accounts, my YouTube channel. If you want to support me if you want to support me, just like and subscribe with my social media account and channels. So let's start. So as the title says here, I will be introducing the serverless technology for the sake of others who are not still familiar with this one, and I will primarily I will primarily discuss about Azure serverless compute technologies. So before I jump into describing what is serverless compute serverless technology, I will much better if I discuss about the evolution of servers, or might as well I will say this as a type of server. So the first one is the physical server. So uh, as you as you can see, the physical computers or servers, you this is the server that has the high end specification, where most of the administrator before will install all the tools, and especially databases that your applications or websites uh, will be used. So so maybe 15 years ago, this is very, very common for developing something. So there will be huge server CPU inside the office. Or and sometimes if we need to to do some demo or show something to our customers, sometimes we really need to bring this in the customer's location. So but this is not really good server type, because if once you need to update some of the softwares of the server, you need to sometimes do some effort for this one. And the second one is the hosting server. So this is very handy and much better than the physical server, because it's like you are renting renting a server via the internet. So you just need to click some buttons to set up your own server. So if you guys are familiar with GoDaddy, HostGator, so I worked with that before. So that's very common before the cloud server. But this is much better than the physical server, because you don't need to worry about the different setups. You just need to, it's like, request that you want something for your server. But the problem here, or the challenges here before, is like when you have these websites that is not yet, let's say, not yet popular. So you will just buy, or you will just rent a server that has a minimum specification. So meaning it will be a standard server for you for your initial deployment. So but when your website became popular, so your website will get a high volume of traffic. So your server will probably crash along for the long run, because it cannot handle different or multiple requests per day. So let's say, for example, your standard server can only handle 1,000 requests per hour. But imagine if you have million users, your server will crash. That's why that issue, well, the solution for that one is to buy another server which has a high-end specification, or higher specification than your first one. Then your website, you can just transfer all your files or your web applications to another server. But that's not really ideal, because what will happen if the traffic or the demands of your website is not that high anymore? So what will happen to that high end server specifications that you just bought, or you just rented? So it's a waste of money. That's why cloud solves that. Cloud server or cloud computing, sorry, where's the so that's the next evolution or server type that is far more better than a normal hosting server. So what the cloud server or cloud computing solves for us is like when the server can be scale up, or you can scale up or scale down based on the demands for your web applications or websites. By just clicking buttons, you can just enable that, disable that, uh, and the issue of scaling your application will be just, yeah, it's so easy to do that. But the cloud computing cannot do for you is the automatically scaling up and down. So because this cloud computing is like a manual process, where you will handle scaling by your hands. So serverless came in to solve for this issue of cloud. So basically, this serverless is also a cloud computing, but with different billing. So it means this will be a consumption base. So you will be just you just need to pay for the services that you are currently using, compared to cloud computing. Oops. So so since I already discussed that different kinds of server or the evolution of server, so what is serverless now? So as written here, so I will not read this, but to summarize this description, so it's like serverless is for the developers that don't want to think about the underlying infrastructure of your application. So you can just focus on the codes or the implementations that you need to do, the business logic that you need to implement, or and the product that you want to create. So, and after that, you can just freely upload that directly to your cloud provider without having to think about how you will set up or configure your server. And later on I will show you how easy to deploy the um, serverless functions. So the top benefits of serverless computing. So number one, of course, like what I have mentioned, no infrastructure management. So you don't need to think about how you will, like what I've said, you don't need to think about the admin task. You just can focus on the business logic. You can just do whatever you need to do for your code and upload that with high availability. Another and the next benefits that you can get for serverless computing is the dynamic scalability. So, like what I have mentioned, the the resources will be automatically scaled up if it's needed, and it will automatically scale down if it's not really if it's not if it's not being used. So it will automatically down to zero. So by having that, I think you can have an idea that this will be much cheaper than the cloud computing, because cloud computing, if you um, enable or activate some of the service there, there will be a fixed price that you need to pay. And the next one is the faster time to market. Like this is related to the first benefit, which the developers or your team doesn't have to worry other things than doing the codes and deploy the products so that you can market your applications to your target users. And the last one and most important one is the more efficient use of resources. So like what I have mentioned, you only need to pay for the services that is currently running or currently being used. So if it's not being used or if it's not being executed, you will not pay anything for that one. So it will just stay inactive. If it's inactive, you don't need to pay anything. So we can also compare the serverless computing against the traditional computing, which is the server-based computing. So in serverless, you can the developers, like I have mentioned, the developers can forget about handling servers and infrastructures. Compared to the traditional computing, the developers or some of the resource inside the team needs to handle that servers on their own. And the next one is automatically assign resources according to the demand. Like what I have also mentioned, uh, this will be automatically. Let's say, for example, for the traffic, or if your server needs more memory, and this will automatically be adjusted based on the usage of the server, compared to the traditional computing where it will flag you or it will notify you that the server is breaking down. So you need to take care of that. You need to check that and adjust something based on the consumption of your server. And the last one is which is the most important one. You will be charged for the resources that is being active, compared to the traditional cloud computing where it doesn't matter if it's not being used or being executed. As long as you activate that, you will be charged uh, based on the price of that service. And yeah, to give you additional comparison between the traditional cloud computing and the serverless. So imagine you have this backend API and you are calling this function, serverless function, and you just need to get this response, which is a JSON response, and this will be executed and get the result by just 100 milliseconds. So you will only be charged by this 100 millisecond, which I doubt it will be a big amount of money compared to the traditional cloud computing. So if the your backend service or API is running for 72 hours, you will be charged for 72 hours. So it's you can see the difference now. It's much cheaper using this serverless technology because yeah, 100 milliseconds. I'm not sure if this will reach you $1 per day. Okay, so since I already gave you um the description about serverless, so I can show you a different serverless compute offered by Azure. So there are lots of serverless compute. There are lots of serverless from Azure, but I just listed the most common one that can enable you to build an end-to-end Azure serverless solution. So I splitted this for four categories. One is for compute, which you can build the applications or API uh, without thinking about the infrastructure in the underlying infrastructure. And the other one is the DevOps and the developer tools. I will say something about that later. And the next one is the serverless database. So you can use relational database and non-relational database as serverless. And the last one is the storage. So you can in this storage you can use this Azure Blob Storage to host your static website, like your maybe if you have this SPA or Angular application or React application, you can put it here. So, oops, yeah. So for Azure Serverless, you can you have the serverless containerized microservices. You also have the serverless Kubernetes, serverless functions, and serverless application environment. So what is serverless containerized? So you can deploy container apps without managing complex infrastructure by just using this Azure container app. Actually, this is one of my favorite now. So uh, instead of dealing with different complex configuration in Kubernetes, you can just click and set some settings in Azure, and you will have this microservices enabled. And these container apps, Azure Container Apps, has a capability to integrate the Dapper easily. So if you are familiar with distributed applications runtime, which is becoming more well known now, so that's very handy to use. And the next one is serverless Kubernetes. We all know about this Kubernetes, or for the sake of the others who don't know this Kubernetes yet. So this is just the way of orchestrating your containers. So using this will make your life easier. And the next one is serverless functions, which is also one of my favorite serverless capabilities of Azure. So I will do a quick demo on how to create this Azure functions locally and upload it or deploy it to Azure portal. So I will try to do that later on. And the last one for compute that I just listed here is the serverless application environments. This is the Azure App Service, where you can run and scale your web applications, mobile and API applications on the platforms of your choice. So it's a good service also. For the DevOps and developer tools, like what I have said, so you can take advantage of this Azure DevOps, where you can have a unlimited cloud-hosted private Git repository, and you can easily set up your CI/CD pipelines to deliver a sophisticated product. You can inside the Azure DevOps, you also have this Scrum board where you can organize your project. You can create different tasks there, different Scrum items that will be helpful for your team. And of course, you have this app development tools. So it is common to use Visual Studio if you are working with Azure Cloud and .NET development. So there's a lot of package that you can use for these plugins that you can use for this one, as well as inside Visual Studio Code. There's a lot of plugins also that you can use to work with Azure and clouds. You can just check that. Next, the serverless database. So like what I have mentioned, you can build serverless apps with relational and non-relational database. So the relational database, this is the Azure SQL database where you can optimize price performance and simplify performance management of uh, relational database. So the billing for this one is like I think per request, you will be charged for this service per request and per connection. You can check the billing price for this one, or the price, what we call this price rate for this database. And the other one is the Azure Cosmos DB. This is the NoSQL database of Azure. This is equivalent, or a this is the competitor of MongoDB. This is a document model database where you can also take advantage. This is a scalable database. Actually, this is one of a good NoSQL DB nowadays. And lastly, the storage, like what I've said, the Azure serverless storage, where you can use blob storage um, to store your static web application, or maybe your SPA application. You can put it here, and you can trigger. You can use this and trigger. You can use events. Uh, use you can use event grid to push some trigger here. You can also use logic apps to manipulate the files, or the data that you will save here on this storage. Uh, okay, wait. So yeah, demo. That that's the boring part. So let's open my Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio. Let's just put it here. I also have I have created this before my presentation. So what I have here is a crude functionality. I have get, delete, and add here. So it's just a simple request and response application, or API. So yeah, so um, in Visual Studio, you can create Azure function by just let me just do that real quick. You have an option to get this Azure function. So name that project. I will just retain that. So you can choose the version of data that you will use here. So they've added isolated version of .NET. So it means the process will be separated to the main process. So that's the isolated one. And so when you create that, you will have this template where it has this default name. You can change this. This will be the name of the function that will be reflected on the Azure portal. I will show you that later. So this is for working with API. Most likely you will just use this HTTP trigger. It's like when you browse the API via get or post. This will handle that. That will be handled by this one. You can create multiple function inside this function app by just having this and rename that one to whatever name you want. And you can also add um, route here so that the name of your endpoint is not that bad. So something like this. So if you run that, oops. So as you can see here, the route or the API is named like this based on the route that I have declared here, and the other one is the default function name that I did not change. Okay, so let me go back to the project that I have already created. Wait. Mm, okay.
Uh, Ryan,
Yep.
hello.
Yep.
I think we can only see your slides with the demo. We can't see the if you have logged in to Azure, then we can't see that screen.
Oh, okay. Wait. Let me just. How can I reshare my screen? Can you see this new tab?
Yeah, we can see it now.
But but my Visual Studio, you cannot see it.
No, we can't.
Okay, wait. How can I reshare that? Mm, Give me a sec. I will need to reshare my screen. Window. Okay, can you see my Visual Studio now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Can you please repeat it like
Yeah.
uh,
Okay. So I will just close this. Oh, okay. So I will just open my Visual Studio again and open my ready, the one that I have already created before the presentation. So as I have mentioned earlier, where you guys didn't see, So this is my simple application. It's just a crude application. So I just added here where you can fetch the request, HTTP request, but you can create that function app by just adding project here and choose this Azure function. I will just let that name. So there are different workers now. So before this is not yet updated because the .NET 8.0 is not listed yet. So I will just use this. So once you click that create, you will be provided by this template, which is the default get request. You will have this. This one is the default name. If you don't add the route here, sorry. If you don't add route here, let's say item. If you don't have this, the name of your API will be this one. So let's just try that one. Let's try to run that. Okay, so as you can see here, no, because I used the other project, sorry. Because I have selected the project that I have created earlier, so that's why I did not use this. It didn't show this. So let's just try that. So here's the one that I'm saying. So you will have this default name as your endpoint, but if you have this route, you will have different names. Okay, so let me just close that and use the project that I have already created with different functionality. So let's just run this again and do some testing. And after that, I will try to deploy this to Azure. Mm, right. Okay. So basically, I have this add, delete, create functionality. So let me just try that. So the get should get all the data from the database, and you can delete that. We can delete that by just uh, calling that delete, and we can add that. We can add something also. Yeah. So we can add something also by just um, adding this. So yeah. Okay, so everything is working as expected because I already tested this one. So let's try to deploy this in Azure to Azure. So you have two options. You can publish here by connecting to your account directly, or you can just use the publishing import, where you can also download that from the from Azure portal. But before doing that, maybe I will show you how to create Azure functions also. So let me just share my portal here. Okay, so let's try to create this Azure function. So this is the other way of creating your function app. So you can create using your Visual Studio, or you can create your function app inside this Azure portal. So let me use that. So test Ryan demo share one. So so you can use different programming languages based on your preference. So PHP is not listed here, but you can also use that. You can also use PHP by using this custom handler. I don't know why they removed that, but I believe PHP is listed here before. So let's just use that. And I will just use this LPS, and I am currently Germany, West Central, and Windows. And this is the important option here. So consumption based, your function app should be consumption based, so that you will be charged only if this function app is being used or being triggered. The other options here are dedicated, so it means that is not a serverless compute. So you will be charged by monthly, or by days that this function is turned on. Let's just click next. So enable. So we can just put this as enable, so that we can access this publicly, but you can turn that up. So for internal communication or services, you can use that. For application insights, if you guys are not familiar with application insights, this is the way you can debug, or you can monitor uh, the behavior of your API. So if there's an error, you can go here with the generated application insights. You can check that. So it will log every request and every error. If there is an error, you will also see that inside the application insight. Actually, application insight is also one of a serverless technology. But I will not create that now. For deployment, we just skip that and tags, and yeah, everything is good. Let's just create that. Okay, so this will take time. So that's, but I have already created a function app, so we can just use that here. I named that function Ryan demo West EU01. So we can use that as the container of my simple application. So first, I will try to connect with my Azure. I'm al- I'm already logged in, so this will automatically retrieve all the function app that you have created inside the Azure portal. You just need to click that, and you will a publishing profile will be automatically created for you. So you will have this publishing profile now. Once you have that, you can easily click this publish, so that your API will be pushed there. Yeah, I forgot to stop. Okay. Okay, so while we are waiting, there's also other way of creating this publishing profile. You can just go to your function app and you can download this get publishing profile. So the use of this maybe, well, not maybe, the main purpose of this one is like if you want to share this publishing profile to other to your teammates, you can use this and you can give this to your teammate, and once they have that, uh, they can just click this new profile and import that publishing profile. I will do that later, but I'm not sure why is it taking too long now. Yeah, so succeeded. Let's just check that. Okay, it should be here. So this is the API or the yeah the API that we just created that I've just created locally. It's deployed now, so we can have this URL for that API. Okay, so for the publishing profile that I am saying, we can just try that now. Once you have that downloaded, okay, you can use that inside your Visual Studio. Right. You can import that by just clicking this new profile, then browse that publishing profile again, which is this one. Then once you have that, you can also click this publish. But of course, in the real development, you need to automate this. You can work with your CI/CD to automatically deploy this once you have changes with your code. So you can work with ARM template or Bicep or your Terraform to do this automatically without having to click this publish, which is the standard way of doing this. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all for my presentation and demo. I would like to thank you guys for having time listening to my presentation. So again, I have this channel where you can follow me and subscribe. So yeah, hello.
So yeah. So if anyone has any questions to ask, feel free to ask Ryan right now, and he would
Mhm.
love to answer your questions. So if
Yeah.
anyone has any doubts related to Azure or serverless or whatever he taught, so feel free to ask any question. If there's any questions or if there is anything that you want to share, just feel free to share about it. You can also mention how was the session, how did you uh, felt, and how did you how would you rate us. This will help us to for the improvement. So someone is a beginner and asking in case of web app, what is backend and front end and a database. So Rehan, you can guide.
Okay, so basically the front end is the one that you are saying when you go to a website, that is a front end. You can use different front end framework like React or Angular. You can use Vue for that one. And for the back end is the one who are getting the data from your database and sending that to your front end. So it's like your server of information that will be supplied to your front end. So that's it. So backend use the usual programming languages to use for backend is C sharp, Java, yeah, .NET Core. Yeah, that's also C sharp. So you can also use Python. Uh, you can also use Node.js. So as long as you are not seeing something in the layout, that's the backend. So yeah.
So, uh, if there aren't any questions, then we'll end this session. So, if you have any questions, then just feel free to ask. And since I can see there is no more questions, so I would like to thank you, Ryan, for taking your time in guiding us about serverless technology. And I'm sure everyone had a good learning experience from this session. So,
There's still a question. Can we use serverless YAML to create a function? You can Yes, you can work with YAML by calling different ARM templates or bicep templates for that one. So yes, the answer is yes. Yeah, that is possible.
so how to get the certificate? So I'll share a form, like a attendance form. You have to fill that attendance form, and then you will get the certificate. Also, the comments for the sessions. So comments, I'm not sure what comments you want for this session. I mean, for the certificate, we'll share a form and you have to fill that form and then you will get the certificate. And the recording for today's session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. And from there, you can access it and you can see, you can rewatch the recording and you can just revise the topic. Okay, so comments. Okay, so in the form, you can mention the feedback about us, and then we can look forward to it. And you can also mention any other topic that you want us to cover, and we'll see what topics the majority of the attendees would like to cover, and we'll cover that topic. So, Ryan, as I can see, there are no further questions. So, I would like to thank you for taking your time in guiding us about serverless uh, technology. And we look forward to have you in the upcoming session as well as a speaker.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.